Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Retrieves it. Taps it for Chernak by the net. He'll sweep it around the far boards, and Cole almost lost it, gets it back and chips it out. Right to Point, across the blind left circle, cutting in front. Shoot, score! What a goal from Brayden Point! And the Lightning go up 1-0 with 18:44 left in the first.
Just a minute 13 in, the Amalie crowd brought to their feet by the great Brayden Point with a couple of goals last night. The Moose, Brian Elliott, was fantastic in goal last night, doing it all. A .944 save percentage, had an assist and led the team in takeaways. Highlight reel goals all around as the Lightning beat a red-hot Nashville team 5-2, and now we'll host the Panthers, the stinking Panthers, on Saturday. Good morning to all of you. We got lots to talk about today on our Friday edition. So much to get to. We got a lot of great sound from Tom Brady, maybe some even better sound from Byron Leftwich, which we will have some fun with tonight. We got John Cooper. We got all the Lightning stuff. So many incredible comeback last night by Baker Mayfield, of all people. Are you freaking kidding me? We got college football stuff to talk about. The Bucs heading to Santa Clara to play the 49ers. Tom Brady talking about his childhood days. So much good stuff to get to. We say good morning to Nick Geddes here from Outsider.com. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Lots to get into. And last night also, while you were in the Cigar City tap room,
yes,
and I was sound asleep, we also saw one of the comeback of comebacks,
right,
by the most unlikely of people. I mean, just you can never go to bed in the NFL. Games are never over.
Crazy league.
Crazy league.
It's weird as how boring the games are in the middle. And at the end,
that's why I went to bed.
Yeah, and part of that is, and we'll talk a little bit about the 2-minute offense. Turnovers are such a huge statistic in the NFL. It seems to me like one of the reasons scoring is down dramatically is half these teams don't try to score, and the Bucs are the number one offender.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they play so freaking safe. 1 yard pass, run up the middle. And teams and then when they have to score at the end of the game, what happens? These teams are trading touchdowns right and left. So a lot of it is just cowardly coaching, in my opinion. So, a lot of it is just not trying to score. And when you look at Tom Brady, especially when they go into the 2-minute and they have to score, they have to throw the ball into the end zone. What do you know? It actually works. So lots to get into today. If you want to join the show and comment, you can always comment at FanStreamJP on my Twitter, at Nick Geddes News, at the JP Peterson Show as well. We have our own. So like that as well. Follow us on our show page as well. So we always put out programming information and all that good stuff. So you can always go on YouTube as well and comment on Facebook and comment. We'll put your comments up. So lots to get to today. Let's jump right into it. We'll get into the Bucs too. I know you guys want to hear all the great stuff from Brady and Leftwich, but I wanted to give a little shout out to the Bolts last night. What a great game. And one of the things about going to a Lightning game is it's never just about the hockey game, right? There's always a great theme, and we've been doing these retro nights. Have you been to a retro night yet?
I have not, but it's all growing on me now.
You got to get to a Thursday night game, especially if you like 90s music and 80s music and all. I know you do. So I mean, it really adds something to we got all the graphics and fonts from the 1990s. The great throwback jerseys are out there. But the music, I mean, the fans just love it. It's like a dance karaoke thing going on, with all the good old throwback. And then my Lightning Vision folks, they're so good at editing and doing the vignettes. And they did one from Ryan McDonough last night, and Ryan wasn't playing because he just had his face fractured, and his face is just really swollen up.
And if he ain't playing, it's serious.
Yeah, and he's got they had to put a metal plate in because he took a puck off the face trying to block a shot. Shocking development, right? Just one of the all-time warriors in the game, and he's probably still in a hell of a lot of pain, but you could definitely tell that he was moved to tears emotionally, and maybe because of the pain as well. And, everybody, including John Cooper, who we'll hear, blame the empty shorthanded goal, Ryan McDonough. And even Coop and the players just got a little bit misty-eyed, and it took them out of their game for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Well, same on this end.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, Ryan McDonough, when he got here, it instantly became my favorite player on the team because I love the guys who are gritty like that.
Yeah.
In certain situations, I trusted him even more than even Victor Hedman in some situations. I thought he was that good. We've been having all these tribute videos the last 2 years, and I feel like every one gets more sad.
Yeah.
Every single one gets more sad.
We talked a little about this on the Last Call radio show last night with Brian Engblom. By the way, hope you're listening to that after every game, a half hour after every game. Brian Engblom and I from the Cigar City Tap Room, live audience. So come on by, say hello, have a beer with us. We got drink specials. Always enjoy a high low or a high lie at Cigar City. But we talked about that. McDonough's toughness, the way he and the way he just set the standard, for blocking shots, for just being that guy and maybe underappreciated more than anything else. As much as he was appreciated, if you could be underappreciated, right? And a lot of people will tell you in that first cup that he was instrumental and maybe our best player. And with so much going on in COVID and everything. So, it's in the business of this game sucks. It really does. And you have to, especially with guys like this who made their home here, their family was here, entrenched here. And, and that's the thing about the Lightning organization. It's not just the hockey team. It is a lifestyle. A lot of it is at Davis Islands. A lot of the players live out there. Their families are always, hanging out with each other. It's just the perfect situation for any player. And to have to leave it, it's got to be gut wrenching and it was gut wrenching for the team and it was gut wrenching for him. And it just, that part of the business sucks, but it also underscores the bonds that teammates make. And this team, especially, and it's not over. Obviously the run is not over, but those 2 cups and 3 finals in 3 years, that is a team that will go down in history as one of the greatest teams of all time. And if they are to win 3 and 4 or even 3 and 5, it's it just continues. And John Cooper is just as such a masterful coach and a master. And Brian talked about this last night about, making lineup changes and doing things that you have to do in the moment. And we were just talking before the show that Cooper, he don't care. Cooper does not care what's on the back of your hockey card. He doesn't care what your salary is. He doesn't care. It's all a meritocracy. It's how are you playing now? How are you helping the team? Last night he juggled the lines again, and he gets this team going when it needs to get going. And it's interesting because so many of these coaches for years and years, they're sacred cows. He's like, well, he's playing the wing, he's playing center, he's not moving. That's that guy's fighting. Stamkos doesn't care. Vasilevsky, normally he plays every other night, right? In these stretches, he didn't play last night. Brian Elliott played last night. You know why? Because Brian Elliott's playing really good. He's playing really well.
And I even double taked when I got home because I missed the first period. And I'm like, is that Elliott playing tonight? Even I was shocked by that decision.
Yeah. And so, and these are all decisions that, they carry weight, they send messages, and guys know. And I think it's one of the reasons this team has been so good for so long because he keeps it fresh. And it's kind of a Joe Madden deal. Joe Madden, one of the things that's brilliant about the way Joe Madden manages is he takes that 25-man roster, right? And he maximizes it every day. You don't know what your role is going to be that day. So you have to show up at the park with an edge every single day. That's not normal in baseball, folks. Most of the time, people know exactly where they're hitting, exactly what their role is, what they're going to do, and if you fall into a comfort level. Whereas Joe Madden is like, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you're going to be on the edge every day. Same thing with the Lightning. I might, if I switch up a line, that's a message to you that you're not doing what you need to be doing. We need to switch things up, and that puts a pressure on you to keep that edge all the time. And I think it's something people don't really talk about. Juxtapose that with the way Todd Bowles handles his team. Could it be a more stark difference?
Yeah, we've been kind of looking at the similarities and contrasting the styles of this coaching staff all year long, and I don't think it's one of those apples to oranges thing just because they're different sports. Right. I think it 100% applies. I mean, John Cooper, he's not afraid to when they have a bad night, he'll come out and say we weren't ready to play.
Right.
He said that last.
You ever heard Bowles say that?
No, he said that in the Red Wings game. He's like, we weren't ready to play.
Right.
and he gets a little snarky with the media and all those type of things.
He's like, you're not going to win hockey games playing like that.
Yeah, and the players know it too. I mean, even like when they won 6-5 over Buffalo, like 2 weeks ago, Stamkos after the game was like, yeah, it's great, but we can't get away with this every night. Like they know. Yeah. And then you contrast it to what you hear from the Bucs, and it's like everything's all sunshine and rainbows. It's all good over here. We're scoring enough points.
And what happened in the first period yesterday against a Nashville team that was 7-1-1?
They put their throat. They stomped on them.
Yeah, they came out and they said, "Watch this, watch this."
Yeah.
And then after the Ryan McDonough tribute video, they gave up another shorty. But then in the third period, tied it 2. Here comes Brayden Point again on a 2-on-1, and when he's skating like that, boy, he is really, really good. And Hagel with the shorty at the end of the game. What a goal! What a goal by Brandon Hagel and Nick Paul. What a shot! What a shot!
Every goal was like highlight reel last night.
Let's go through them. Let's have some fun with this. We're going to get to the Bucs. But to finish that thought, when you look at Todd Bowles, it takes, and it's not just Todd, it's the organization too. After 2 weeks of Luke Gedeke, like how long do you think it would have taken Cooper to get him out of there? Second period of the first game.
I mean, look at Philip Myers, who they brought in. He was part of the McDonough trade. Yeah. It took 20 games for them to go, it's not working out. Waivers. Yeah. And now he's in the minors.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
how it goes.
Yeah. Here it's like
and then for
a year and a half of watching Jalen Darden run to the sidelines and not fair catch balls when he shoot to. It takes him a year and a half. You think it would take Cooper that long? No. You're gone. You're gone.
No, and even like a few games in the season when it was clear that the Lightning had issues with their back end, guess who comes up? Nick Perbix. Yeah. A guy who nobody even knows who it is.
Guess who led the team in shots last night? Nick Perbix. Had 5 shots.
Yeah, and I think he's been one of the standouts on a shaky blue line. Yeah. So, I mean, again, that's just another example.
Nick Perbix has played so well now. He's worked his way into the top. Well, they're interchangeable D pairs, but he's playing with Hedman now, and I think he's going to stay there.
Oh, yeah.
And Brian Engblom talked about that last night. I think he's going to stay there. Their D pairs now are shaken out, and you're going to have, Chernak, Sergey, and Hedman all working with different guys, different pairs. I mean, those are 3 good. We say it's a shaky blue line, but I think it's with Perbix being as good as he is, which I think is a little bit of a shock to everybody.
Oh yeah.
And Ian Cole has really played well. That stretch pass last night.
Yeah,
I think he's played tremendously well. So this scouting department and this organization just continues. Look at Hagel and Paul. They have 20 goals between them right now. We're 25% into the damn season.
Does anybody doubt that trade anymore, by the way?
Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, Nick Paul's going to probably score 30 goals.
He's going to get close.
What was his I think the most he ever scored at Ottawa was 12, 16?
He was not a goal scorer. I know he just wasn't a goal scoring threat at all. That was the one thing you were just kind of getting him for his energy.
Did you see his shot last night to the far post?
Oh yeah. I mean he takes it right up to the circle, to the faceoff dot, and I mean he steps into it, he leans into it a little bit. I mean, he's turned his offense around, and even Hagel. I mean, this guy, you talk about the difference of last year when he got here and now, the confidence. You don't do what he did against Matthias Ekholm, who's a damn good defender in this league, like he did yesterday. Was not afraid to take him on and just show, hey, I got speed here. Yeah. And then to roof it also on a damn good goaltender in Saros. I mean, that was the best goal of the night for me.
That was a phenomenal goal. I don't know. I kind of like the Brayden Point one. Well, let's play them all. Here we go. Let's get into this. We played the Brayden Point one to make it 1-0, and the second one, Corey Perry's goal was a goal scorer's goal. Great hands.
It's a Corey Perry goal I've seen a million times, honestly.
And this is a great power play goal for the Lightning to make it 2-0.
Perry will wheel behind the net. Corey Perry, left point Stamkos, center point Hedman. Right circle Kucherov, center point Hedman. Left circle to Stamkos. Shoot, save Saros. Perry, score on the rebound! Well, Corey Perry moves onto the top unit, and he scores. A power play goal for the Lightning. It's 2-0 with 17:07 left in the first.
See where he scored from, though, David? He was about 2 feet outside the blue paint. He backed off just a little wee bit, and that rebound came right to him. Stamkos takes the shot, was right on net, takes the shot. Corey Perry's by the hash marks, and he moved in just a little wee bit, probably 3 feet from the top of that blue paint of the goaltender's crease. And guess where the rebound comes? Right there. It came right to him.
Phil acts like he's done that before.
You don't score 600 something goals or whatever it is without having a few of those. I don't think.
Speaking of which, 600 goals. Dave Anderchuk told me last night he scored 640 goals. Right.
Yep.
You know how many empty netters he had? Think about this: 24 years, 640 goals. How many empty netters do you think he had?
50, 60.
That's what I thought. Three.
Ovechkin had 2 the other night.
I know, 3. But I was like, he goes, well, I played on a lot of bad teams, so
that's fair.
We weren't in that situation a lot. And he said, but he goes, I just, never, I wasn't on the ice. It wasn't my thing. I mean, he probably should have almost 700 goals.
Probably, yeah.
In 24 years, right? Crazy. All right, so that made it 2-1.
Real quick, by the way, I was listening there and people were talking about it on Twitter. What was maybe you would know because you're up there in the studio. What's with the Olay all of a sudden?
It's just, I think it's a little bit of a throwback thing.
It's just a throwback thing,
and people like it.
I mean, I love it. I just noticed that a lot of people on Twitter were talking about it last night about the Olay.
You know what? I'll find out the exact reason if there's something else behind it. But I think it's just throwback stuff. And then when we did it,
I love it. Olay at the Lightning game, Country Roads at Raymond James.
Yeah, that's now the walk-off song at Raymond James. We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah,
that was nice.
And silence at the Rays games.
Hey, but we're getting a new downtown.
You're rubbing off on me. You're rubbing off on me too much. So let's keep it. All
right, let's keep
it focused on the Bolts.
So we're tied at 2 going into the third. After it was a shaky second by the Lightning. There's no question that, like I said, Nashville's a good team. They were 7-1-1 in their last 9 coming in. So they pushed back in the second and they tied it up. They outshot the Lightning 15-8 in that second period. But to start the third, here comes the speed again with Brayden Point into 2-on-1.
Really not frozen. Cirelli finally works for Kucherov. Back for Cirelli. Out to Point, 2-on-1. Brayden Point on the left wing with Cirelli. Point across the blind left circle. Holds. Shoots. Score! Brayden Point! That's his second goal tonight. And it's 3-2 Lightning with 17:46 left in the third.
I'm telling you, there's nothing like shooting the puck. When you shoot the puck, you score. There's a 2-on-1. The defense backed in. The guy went right in the middle. Pointer gets to that. On the right side of the goaltender, Saros. He's inside the circle, almost to the bottom of the circle. And his stick is a right-hand shot, so he had a great angle. And he beat him on the short side on a great shot.
Really not.
Another highlight reel goal. I mean, there was about 6 inches there between the pads. Yeah, and Brayden Point. And I'm so glad he didn't try to pass that puck because nine times out of 10, these Lightning players are selfless and they try to pass that.
Well,
puck.
Phil loved it. He told you right there.
Yeah,
you shoot, you score.
Yeah, and he picked out a little spot, and boy, he hit that spot. They're so talented. Last night was a freaking clinic in how talented these guys are in shooting the puck. I mean, we talk about so many things in hockey, but one of the things these Lightning players are really good at, they've got great shots. They've got so many of these guys have great shots. They're goal scorers, and that's a perfect example of it right there. So that made it 3-2, and then here comes Nick Paul with his 12th goal of the year, and this is another brilliant shot.
Parsonen will steal. 7 minutes played in the third, 3-2 Lightning. Parsonen dumps it in. Stamkos knocks it down and spins for Nick Paul at center with Killorn. Paul across the blue line right circle. Shoot, score! What a shot from Nick Paul!
Great shot.
And it's 4-2 Lightning with 12:50 left to go.
What a shot. I got to tell you, man, when he got to the top of that face-off circle, and Dave, how many times you heard me say, top of the face-off circle to the dot to the net is like a funnel. Right at the top of the face-off circle, he rifled it right over the blocker of the goaltender, Saros. What a shot. Probably about 3 inches inside the goalpost. Great shot.
Great shot.
Yeah, and I got it here. Nick Paul, he had 16 goals last year, and 5 of those came in the last his 21-game stint with the Lightning, but that was his career high, and he's got 12 and 26 already this year. 12 and 26, and his career high in points was last year with 32. He's at 19 through 26. Completely different player.
Yeah, and you come to the Lightning, and you not only are you coming to a good team that's going to make you better, but they develop your skating. They develop your shot. Their player development is tremendous on so many levels. So that made it 4-2. And then here's the icing on the cake, a shorthanded goal from Brandon Hagel that is just absolutely virtuoso.
It is Sissons dumping it in. Elliott will leave it for Sergachev. Can he chip it out? Yes. It bounces center ice. Hagel steamrolling after it. Hagel wins it. A short-handed breakaway. Hagel in front. Score! Brandon Hagel! A short-handed goal!
Wow.
That'll make it 5-2. What a finish and what a burst of speed for Brandon Hagel.
That was an awesome display of speed. And the way he went around Ekholm and Niederreiter and then puts the puck up right under the crossbar on the catching glove of Saros.
Just going through he breaks at the blue line, he gets or at the red line, he gets the puck and then just splits the two defenders with speed, a burst of speed, and then in on Saros and just a fantastic finish.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I could tell you I don't play hockey nearly at the level of these guys, but I do play hockey every week. And that is so difficult to be that tight on a goaltender and roof it like that.
It's just to get it.
And at that speed.
At that speed. Yeah, it was the 300th consecutive sellout last night for the Lightning, and those fans got their money's worth. And that's why the Lightning sell out, folks, because they get a show like that. It's not just the hockey, the music, the entertainment in between. That ugly guy that goes up on the jumbotron with that great information. That's clearly the key to the whole deal. It's just fun. It's just such a fun atmosphere. Even when the Lightning lose, at least you got a good show. You got a good show. You compare that to the other indoor facility in the state. Anyway, let's hear from John Cooper last night. A very, very happy John Cooper. And talked about the Ryan McDonough vignette as well.
Responding to them coming back in time or 2-2.
Yeah, we needed that. We came out of the gate phenomenal. Had the two goalie. To be honest, what derailed us or derailed me anyway was the McDonough tribute. It was like the worst timing ever because we're rolling, and I don't know if there was a dry eye on the bench. It was that was one of the best tributes I've seen. Definitely here. It was so it was pretty moving, and then we coincidentally give up a shorthanded goal right after that. So I blame Mac. He had his imprint on the game, sitting in the stands. What's that?
Still all over this team.
Yeah, he literally does. So it was a really moving tribute. It was great. He deserved everything, and but it just shows how much he meant to this organization.
They did a good job of kind of slowing you down in the second period. They blocked a ton of shots. They didn't allow you out of your zone very easily. What adjustments did you make in the third period to kind of get some of that speed and transition?
Well, we knew, we didn't play our best. Like I said, that first period we came out, we really dictated play. I thought that first 5 minutes of the second period, we had the puck the whole time. We didn't shoot, and we let them off the hook. And then, they push back. I mean, they're a good hockey team. They're going to push back, and they did. And I think we got a little frustrated that maybe things weren't going the way we wanted them to, especially how much we had the puck. And then they decided they wanted to win a hockey game too. And so, getting that third one was big. So now that puts them in their heels a little bit, and we took it home from there. But bottom line is that the other team's always trying to win too. And so, good on them for pushing, but good on us to reel it in the third.
I think Elliott makes a save there on that 2-on-1 in a tight game there. And then you guys score not that. I mean, for a guy who plays kind of sporadically, and you always talk about it's not how many saves you make, it's the big ones,
Well, it's the timely ones, yeah. And he made them tonight, and he's kind of done that for us this year. And you look down and sit here and say, well, maybe his statistics aren't where some of the other guys are, but all he's doing is winning games for us, and he's making the big saves when we need him, and he keeps us in it. And we gave him a little run support tonight, so he's done awesome for us this year.
Nice to finally score a goal.
Yeah, I heard somebody in between periods said there was only 2 teams in the league that didn't have a shorty, and they both were playing tonight, and then they both get one. So it was I don't know, apropos, I guess.
And like Brandon's had a ton of chances shorthanded, like to be able to finally put one of those in.
Yeah, it was that was big for him because we've talked about it. He's good for one of those a game, and confidence builder to get one.
Coach, fastest to 450 wins. So great coach or great players.
It's always, well, the joke behind closed doors is if the team wins, it was coaching, and if we lose, it's all the players. But that's the joke about it. It's the organization. But I'm been privileged to be behind the bench with a lot of phenomenal players and some of the best in the world. So when you win games, your players are winning the games for you.
Yeah. Kind of adjustment. Like your lines have been pretty steady for most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple of games, you kind of changed in game. Like what kind of an adjustment is that for players, or what you hope to see from the players when you make those changes in game?
Well, you want to see a spark, and fortunately for us, both games it has given us a spark, and so going back to what we had before, like you get a vibe for your players, and I think the fact I've been around this group for so long, your gut tells you if it's working, if it's not, and fortunately, we couldn't come back, in the Detroit game, but we did our darndest. I mean, we did everything but put the puck in the net when we needed it. But tonight again, there's some familiarity with some of these guys and where to kind of slot them, and the addition of Tony's helped us, so it's makes it a little easier for me.
Indeed, it does. Cirelli is that Swiss Army knife that he can put anywhere and put on anyone. And they just bring so much energy. And now we're starting to see what this team, I think, is going to look like more in March and April. Things are starting to settle down, and I like what I see. Suddenly this team doesn't look so slow and plodding, right? Like it did against Colorado. And that's just Brayden Point, and guys being a little healthier too. I think there were some guys that weren't healthy during the final last year. So this is a different team, and I think we're starting to see. I think the team we saw last night is the team that we're going to see in the next few months, and they're going to build on this. So I'm excited about the Lightning. I really am excited about the Lightning, and I think last night was kind of one of those games. By the way, Saturday, and it was a 300 sellout last night, but I'm here to tell you folks, if you need single game tickets, they're available. There's, it's still considered a sellout, but I was even talking to Dave about this last night. I think there's I don't know it's probably the economy, and the economy is killing a lot of people. And it's the first thing that's going to go are expensive sports tickets, and the tickets aren't cheap. Nobody's going to sit here and tell you they're cheap, but for the entertainment value that you get, you can most nights on the secondary market get a $20 or $25 ticket upstairs. And that's a great seat. It's an absolutely phenomenal seat in that arena. So if you're thinking, I can't afford to go, pick a game, and you can get those single game tickets. You can go on a secondary market. You can actually just go up to the box office and pick them up as well. So get out to Amalie Arena Saturday. It's a 4:30 puck drop against the stinking Panthers, by the way. And they're a completely different team now. Matthew Tkachuk. Huberdeau's gone. They got Uyghur now. They're a different team, and they did that. They changed their team to compete with the Lightning, and to get a little bit more grit, and because they got embarrassed obviously in the playoffs last year in the sweep. So they're coming in at 4:30, 3:00 on Thunder Alley is a free concert with Smash Mouth. So that's going to be fun too. So get there early, and have a good time. Lightning are bringing you just really, really good entertainment. And now, if you've kind of felt like you've been priced out before or can't get in the building, you plenty of opportunity. So just go online, get your tickets, or go to the game. You can pick them up, no doubt about it. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some interesting sound bites from Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady yesterday. Very entertaining over at the Bucs. So we'll play those, break them down for you, have some fun with that. We got college football to talk about. A lot of guys leaving and staying in certain places at Florida State. They're building up quite an arsenal for next year. Baker Mayfield last night. We got to get to that. Lots to get to. The Rays. We're going to talk about that. Quick break, and we'll be back. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, one unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashland Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations. Emerging INV is their website, Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency. If you have some issues with your spouse or perhaps a criminal matter or insurance fraud is another thing they do well. If you're in a legal office and you need some private investigators, they are the best in the business, family owned and operated. So they have a little bit more leeway to do things that maybe the bigger firms will not do. It's another part of their success. They get great results, and that's why their clients love them. So go to emerginginv.com and call Rachel over there, and she will run down the whole deal for you. I know it's kind of a weird thing. Sometimes you need a private investigator. You have suspicions. She'll talk you through it, tell you what their methods are, what they need to do, what it's going to cost you approximately, and then you can figure out what you want to do. So it's always a free call, always a free consultation. So just go to their website, emerginginv.com. Tell them JP sent you. They're very busy over there, but they will take time to talk to you and find out what's going on. So Emerging IMV, great folks over there. And also, we're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They bring you the Gator Report each and every Thursday. And also, if you've been injured in an accident or your car has been totaled and you don't think you got what you should have gotten, that's one of the things they do very, very well. So it's another free call, free consultation. We're just trying to help you out. All these free calls, go talk to these people. They're really, really good, our sponsors. They will help you out and probably save you or get you lots of money. So that's the Jeeves Law Group. Trying to just help people out here. All right, let's dig into the Buccaneers a little bit as they head on the road to face a 49ers team that is just unbelievable on defense. They are so freaking good. In their last 5 wins, did I already say this? I know I told it to you, but in their last 5 games, they've given up 7 total points in the second half. You know, like when the defensive coaches really make their halftime adjustments against the other team's offensive coaches. I mean, you talk about a mismatch in this one. And they shut you down. They've outscored teams 73-7. See, to me, that's all about making great adjustments at halftime. Like, you see where the game is going, you see where their weaknesses are, and then you attack them in the second half. That's great coaching. That's what the great coaches do. And the 49ers are outscoring their opponents 73-7. This is from Greg Auman. He says the Bills actually did the same thing in the first 5 games this year, outscoring opponents 70-7 in the second half. Patriots gave up 3 in the second half at a 5-game stretch last year. What is consistent with those teams? 49ers, Bills, Patriots.
Well coached.
Really, really well coached teams. And the Bucs defensively, I think, are really well coached. But the rest is a disaster. Special teams and offense, just absolute disaster. And you can look at that in the numbers in the matchup this week. And you look at some of the matchups, and obviously these numbers aren't the end all be all, but you look at the 49ers, they're 10th in total offense, which may surprise you with, their quarterback quote issues. Jimmy G, who's obviously not playing, but he's 6th in quarterback rating this year. The guy that they didn't want to play. Imagine that. Their rush offense is 14th. Their pass offense is 12th. Their total defense is 1st, allowing just 283 yards a game. Their rush defense is 1st, averaging 75 yards per game given up. Their pass defense is 12th. Points scored defensively, 13th. I thought they'd be higher than that, actually. I'm sorry, points allowed. Points scored, that's their offense. 13th. Points allowed, they're 1st. 15 points a game. Sacks, they're tied for 6th. Just goes on and on. The one thing the Bucs are really good at, they're 2nd in the league, sacks allowed. So that's, that'll be interesting. But most of that was gained with Tristan Wirfs and an offensive line that was, pass protection, they're not terrible. But this week with, an ailing Donovan Smith who continues to struggle with his hyperextended right elbow, the inside move on him is just, that's where he's getting all his holding penalties. Kyle Shanahan cut up a bunch of tape this week, sent it to the league office about how Donovan Smith is holding everybody, which is good to know. I haven't seen who the crew is this week. God, I hope it's not Hockley. If it's Hockley, the Bucs will get 17 holding penalties.
No way we're going to get Hockley 2 weeks in a row, right?
Was he last week?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be not good. So it is a mismatch on every level.
Yeah. And honestly, like trying to find, a way that the Bucs like a path to victory here. Like, I think we all know it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what the path to victory is, but we don't trust the coaching staff to actually do it. And
excellent point.
Given what we heard yesterday from Byron Leftwich, how could you? I mean, he's just digging his hole, man. He's digging it. Now, I don't know if anybody has the gravitas to let him go at some point. Because, I mean, you can tell the relationship with him and Tom is something that seems very tight-knit right now.
Yeah.
And even if Tom wanted to return next year, would he really be like, no, I want Byron out of here? I don't know. I don't really know. But I tell you what, if this is how he interviews for head coaching jobs, then it's clear to see why he doesn't have one right now. and why he shouldn't have one.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds mean, but you judge for yourself. This was yesterday, and these press conferences, I don't know how long they're going to go on, to be honest with you. There's no upside for the Buccaneers. There's no upside, I think, for Byron Leftwich to do this, but I'm guess, he still wants to do it. So good on you. Gives us some great content. Let's play number 2. And this was him being asked if there's something he'd like to improve on offensively. Number 2. Da, da, da.
I just think it's scoring. I know you guys think I'm crazy. We go in here, we have games where we go 6 drives and punt. I think we're closer than what people think. Obviously, we're doing something well enough to win football games, right? This is the National Football League. There's no pushovers. Carolina, Pittsburgh, all of them have shown us that, right? We've been on the opposite end of it, so there's no such thing as pushovers. So
you're the only one they're beating.
In this league's about winning. It's only about winning in this league. It's a lot that go on, a lot of narratives that happen, but this game's about winning. So we're trying to do whatever we can to win. And as an offensive coordinator, as the offensive coach, I know the one thing that guarantees the win every week is scoring one more point than the other team, even when it's one more point. Like last week, 17-16. Don't matter the score. Find ways to win ball games. And if you can do that enough in ball games, you learn how to win tough games. You learn how to win 17-16 games. I don't know how good we were in the past at winning those type games. I think we're better at finding ways to win those type of games because the situations we've been in, good and bad. So I think we can learn from them, move forward from them, and I think all these situations has gotten us and made us a better ball club.
So if you look up tone deaf in the in the dictionary, dude, your offense consists of the only time you score is when Tom Brady is in a no huddle. And I know Byron is part of that, obviously, but mostly not. Like in the other 12 possessions, the defense is awful. I mean, the offense is awful. And you're the coordinator of that. And you have players that are mic'd up on other teams that are laughing at your play calling. We know exactly what happens. What they're sitting there laughing, the Ravens are. We know what's coming. They haven't changed a thing. It's all the same stuff. Like, and you know what? The fans know it too. We all know it. I mean, and you're sitting there gonna say because we're scoring one more point. You're averaging 20. You're 27th in the league in points scored, and you're sitting there telling us that you're doing a great job because you're scoring 1 point more than the other team. What?
I don't even really know what to say to these comments here. I mean, he wants to say, we're scoring, we got to score points and all that, but you're not scoring points. You're not scoring points. And when he says we're winning games, you're 6-6.
You're winning games because Tom Brady is the greatest comeback.
You've won 2 games because Tom Brady did his thing. Yeah. And you stopped him. You stopped him from getting a shot to win another one, by the way.
And the other, he was 2-18-0 in that situation where he's up 7 points with what was 2 minutes to go. And you lost. Your coaching staff.
And ask yourself too, why are you in these close games?
Exactly.
Why are you in these close games?
You shouldn't have been in the close game with Cleveland.
Yeah, it's because you have 57 minutes of ineptitude leading up to it. That's why you're in these close games.
Because your head coach and you, I guess by extension, are afraid that Tom Brady is going to throw an interception. The guy that hasn't thrown an interception in the red zone the entire time he's been here at Tampa Bay is thrown less interceptions than anybody in the game this year.
Yeah, and listen,
I mean, come on.
He was asked the question like, what do you want? The context of the question was, if you could improve one thing on the offense, what would it be? Now, we know by now he is not going to tip his hand or give any kind of insight on play calling or anything like that. That's fine. But what's sad is everything he's saying here, which I'm trying to interpret as coach speak, is exactly what we're seeing play out on the field then.
Yeah.
So I can't figure out this guy. He's like, this is all like kind of coach speak to him, but in the same way, that's what they are every single Sunday is what he says.
Yeah.
Because they don't do the things that you're asking them to do that work.
It's one thing for them to come in here and just not say anything and then go out and perform and win 13 games like they did last year under Bruce Arians. but this is terrible. This is mediocre football at best. And you've lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Carolina Panthers, the Cleveland Browns. And you can't, and again, Cleveland Browns with the 30th ranked scoring defense, and you score 17 points, and you think 17 points is good enough to win. I mean, and you don't even let your Hall of Fame greatest comeback quarterback ever work his magic at the end of the game. You as a coaching staff short-circuited him, which is just absolutely unimaginable. And then you come and you say these things. You say, yeah, we're doing great because, we're winning games. Well, you're not really winning. You're winning as many as you're losing, and you're losing to some very bad teams and not scoring against some very bad defenses. So what do you think is going to happen this week? All right, let's do number 5. Byron says the game comes down to scoring.
I believe this game comes down to scoring. I know a lot of you guys look, analytics and look at a lot of those things. This game comes down to score. That's the one thing that's 100% true. You score more points than the other team, you win the ball game every single time. Nobody has never lost scoring more points than the other team. There's a lot of numbers out there that, that can seem somewhat factual, but it comes down really the only number that's guaranteed in any analytics is that you score more points than the other team, you win. So I think any offense could work as long as you can score points doing it.
Follow up, which numbers are somewhat factual? It's not that numbers don't lie. That's the beautiful thing about them. They're objective.
Now you can use numbers to skew things and come up
True.
with a spin.
But simple things like we're 27th in scoring offense. We're number 1 in whenever we go up tempo, no huddle. We're number 1 there in play action. Yeah, those are things that I think are useful to helping you win football games and have an overall better flow on offense, and you don't care. You just don't care. You admit it every week after week. You don't care about the numbers, and then you're insulting everybody's intelligence.
Insulting.
I mean, it's just about winning it. It's just about scoring more points. We just got to score one more point. Like, don't insult our intelligence. We know.
Can you play that again? And I want to just understand, okay, that I wasn't in the press conference yesterday, but Greg Allman, Rick Stroud, Scott Reynolds, the Pewter Report guys. I mean, I don't want to miss anybody. There's so many guys in that room that know football and been covering football for 30 freaking years, the NFL. And you're going to sit there and act like and this is the way this coaching staff treats the media. Like we're all effing morons and we know nothing. And so with that in mind, play that soundbite again.
I believe this game comes down to scoring. I know a lot of you guys look, analytics and look at a lot of those things. This game comes down to score. That's the one thing that's 100% true. You score more points than the other team, you win the ball game every single time. Nobody has never lost scoring more points than the other team. There's a lot of numbers out there that, that can seem somewhat factual, but it comes down really the only number that's guaranteed in any analytics is that you score more points than the other team, you win. So I think any offense could work as long as you can score points doing it.
It's so insulting. Oh, okay, that's how it works. And listen, nobody's sitting here saying that, analytics, should drive every decision you make. But if you're not paying attention to these analytics that show that you should never punt at the other team's 37-yard line on 4th and 2 in the fourth quarter when you need another score to go up 2 scores. Like, analytics will tell you things like that, that they completely ignore. Analytics will tell you that running on first down for 2 yards a carry is not a good idea. And to do it continually and predictably and out of the same formations every time. I mean, the tendencies are so off the charts that everybody knows what you're going to do and you never vary it. You can't do that in the NFL. And maybe that's the problem is Byron thinks that everybody is stupid and doesn't look at analytics and doesn't look at these numbers or doesn't look at your tendencies. I mean, are they paying attention to any of these things? It doesn't appear to be because the scoring, which you say that's what you should be judged by, the scoring, you're 27th in scoring with Tom Brady as your quarterback and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Julio Jones and Cade Otton and Rashad White and Leonard Fournette. I mean, it's not like you don't have any weapons. I didn't even say Russell Gage, we spend $10 million a year on. I mean, it's just, it's mind-numbing. It's absolutely mind-numbing. So if you're expecting anything different this week, then I would not expect that if I were you. Let's play number one. This is the up-tempo offense because we've had a lot of conversations about this. This is Byron's. He was asked if that's something that they could do more often to get the offense going in the middle of the game.
I don't know if we need it every week, right? We've done it some early in the year. We've done it some. We've always been good at it when we need it. Like at the end of games, end of half situations, we've always been really good at it. So you don't know how much you'll need it, week in and week out. But it's good to have it there. It's good to have it there. It's good with the players we have, with the quarterback that we have. It's good that anytime you can go up tempo and have opportunities to finish games the way we've had opportunities to finish games. So it's good. It's good that it's been good for us pretty much all year, especially in the half, in the games.
Look, when you're 27th in points scored, there's no rule that says you can't use the up-tempo offense or the no huddle that actually doesn't have to be up-tempo but keeps the other team from substituting. There's no rule that you can't use that in the flow of the game, like your first possession of the second quarter, your first possession of the third quarter, any possession. You can do it. And this is the thing. When you're 27th, when you're going through a game and you've punted 7 out of 8 sessions, like, why are you not doing the things that you're really, really good at? It's just, and this is when things are as this obvious and you hear him talking like this, you start thinking that, well, they just don't think about it. It's just not smart football. And that's what it looks like out there. That's what it looks like.
And also too, like, I heard him say it and I heard Brady say it as well. Well, teams would start to catch on if we used it more and things like that. I don't know.
Let's get to that point.
In today's NFL,
let's have so much success playing with the up-tempo in the middle of the game that teams get it and they start stopping it. But let's get to that point first.
That's what I'm kind of saying. Like, to me, you don't do it enough to even find out. And in today's NFL, if you have a strong point and you're an offensive team, you can do it all as much as you want. I just don't think teams can stop these things anymore like they used to do. I think this is archaic thinking from a coaching staff that's like from 30 years ago.
That's what it looks like. It really does. All right, I want to transition into Brady's press conference because that's just, that's enough. We've said what we've had to say. And by the way, Byron's a great guy. He's a super guy, super nice guy. I don't want to. This is all about his coaching ability. It's nothing personal about him. It's just how he coaches this team and his press conferences just are mind-boggling at times. All right, here's Brady on going back home yesterday. He really, really opened up about some childhood memories. So it was fun to hear. Of course, he grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, grew up going to 49ers games. There's a great picture of him in his mother's arms at the catch game, the Dwight Smith catch game. He was 4 years old. So for him, this is going to be definitely an emotional trip back. It's not Candlestick Park, the great Candlestick Park, but it is the 49ers. So here's Brady on going back home.
It's pretty unique. I've never, for as long as I've played, to have one experience there. And it was a great one too. We played out there. It was a rainy day. It was 2016. We had a really good football team and had a lot of friends and family in the crowd. I ran out for pregame warmup and I remember Chip Kelly coming over to me and he was like, damn, it's a home game for you, and it really was. And there was a lot of great, I think, I always consider myself a California kid and, grew up obviously loving Joe Montana and Steve Young and going to the 49er games. That's where I fell in love with football. And we'd sit up there in the nosebleeds, and we had 4 tickets. My mom and dad would go. I would usually go, and then one of my sisters would go. And, I was lucky to grow up in the Bay Area at that time. It was just a great time. There was so many great players, a great era of football. And I loved the 49ers. I loved them through college. And then when they skipped over me 6 times, I started hating the 49ers. And that's just the way it went down. And never got a chance to go out there. I was supposed to go out there in 2008. And we had it all set up. We were talking all off season. My first time going out there. And then, tore my ACL in week 1. So I had to wait another 8 years. I went to the new stadium. So I never even got to play in Candlestick. And then had the one experience, which was really fun. And it was just great after the game. It was nice for my parents not to have to travel and go to a game for once. So it's nice to go to them. So I'll have a great group of family and friends there that are all supportive, people from growing up in the neighborhood. My parents still live on Portola Drive in San Mateo, same house I grew up in. And I was just a lucky kid growing up in the Bay Area. It was a great place to grow up and love playing football. In high school at Sarah, they're actually playing for the state championship, I think, this weekend. Patrick Walsh has done an incredible job. He was a high school running back at De La Salle, which my uncle was a principal at, and they are hugely successful in NorCal for many, many years. And Patrick was a great running back, then became the head coach at Sarah, and they're doing great. And then went to Michigan, and obviously went home whenever I could, and went further away to Boston. So I kept going further and further away from California. Came here, still didn't make it any closer. So my parents have certainly racked up a lot of frequent flyer miles over the years, but it's been a magical experience. It'd be great to go home and see a lot of people that I probably haven't seen in a long time, my aunts, my uncles, and try to go win a football game.
Wow. Who's that guy?
I love getting to know a little about Brady.
Yeah,
finally. That's what I told you. I said he sounded like a functioning human when he spoke finally.
Yeah.
What I found was interesting though. I'm like, could you feel all the certain sites like kind of taking those comments and going, well, maybe Brady wants to go home next year to Sarah. I could almost feel it when he went on and on about the Bay Area and everything.
The avalanche.
Yeah.
It's just the avalanche. And that's why I am doing my best. I don't even want to talk about his future. It's such a waste of time. And it's, one of my mantras in life is to stay in the moment, be in the now. And, and especially for Buccaneers fans, just enjoy this. Don't worry about where he's going. I mean, look at this offseason, this past offseason. He's retiring. He's now everybody, all the consternation about him retiring and then comes back and all that worrying for nothing. It'll play out like it plays out. Don't let, the fears of tomorrow rob you of today. Enjoy Tom Brady. Look what he did last game. And you people who left the damn stadium.
Shame
on you. I mean, you're witnessing the greatest quarterback in history playing for your team, and you're walking out with 7 minutes to go. I know it was hard to watch. I get it, but don't ever count him out. Here's Brady on more on his fondest memories of growing up. Number 10 here. Tom Brady, growing up.
Yeah, Buzz was a great player in high school, and I had so many friends growing up there. And Sarah was a great baseball school, and I love baseball. I started playing football and fell in love with football because of the camaraderie of it all. And I was always a kid that was trying to prove myself to everyone. And there was one thing in sports that I was really good in. Basically, a lot of sports. I was really good in baseball. Threw the ball well. I hit the ball really well. I was really good in golf. I was good in any sport I was really good at. I'm good in ping pong. I'm good in darts. I just can't run, and I can't jump. So running and jumping are a problem. So I always tried to work hard at those things, so I put the dot drills down because those would help move my feet faster. And, that really helped me, I think, get into college. And then I kept working at it, and I still work at it. I was out there working on my running today, and Griff's going, man, you got to move faster than that, man. You're just not moving as quick today, which is, I can't afford to be 80% of my quickness because that's really slow. I got to be 100% of my slowness, which gives me at least a fighting chance. So, I just keep working. I worked at it when I was in high school. I worked at, I woke up every day at 6 o'clock, and I tell my kids, man, I wasn't a great student. I had no interest in school. I guess you ran for class president your freshman year? Yeah, I lost that. I wouldn't have been good at that. I was good in sports, and I found a good profession for it. So, lucky to find a lot of people in my life that supported me in that journey, and parents were at the top of the list. Sisters motivated me. I was always cheering them on up at Beresford Park and Hillsdale High School. And, we were just a kid growing up like all of us were and trying to have some fun. And here I am many years later and going back and going to try to go home and give people what they want. So that's what we'll try to do.
It won as a 49ers win. What the hell is he talking about? Isn't that funny? Just hearing him talk like a regular guy. It's just great stuff. It's great to hear him open it up and you know what? I bet he's competitive at everything, but he can't run and jump, and he becomes the best NFL player in history. It's one of the greatest stories of all time, which is why we should be really enjoying this. And it's frustrating because of the way the offense is run, but boy, the last 2 years have been great. And maybe they turn it around. Maybe they find it. They have the they certainly have the ability. They have the talent to do it. All right, let's do number 11 here. Brady, putting emotions aside this week, which sounds like it's going to be kind of tough. Number 11.
Put those emotions away too. I think my emotion is to do everything I can to help us win the game. And I know they know that's what they expect of me. They know they're, we're a competitive team, and we haven't had our best moments this year all the time, but we're going to go out there and we're going to try to play our best football this year, which it's what it's going to take because we're playing a great football team, best defense in the league, some incredible players in Bosa, Warner. Got a lot of respect for those guys that do a lot of things well, really well coached. Kyle's a hell of a coach. D'Amico Ryan's a great coach. I played against him as a player. He was a great player. He's turning into be a great coach. So they do a lot of things well. It's going to be a huge challenge for us. They run to the ball, they pursue, they tackle, they hit. They got a great group of defensive players, and there's a reason why they played very well, especially on defense. So we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, they really do. And I know he wants to play really, really well, but I think it's going to be very difficult for them to do so. Here's him talking about the up-tempo offense and his take on whether they should be using it in game.
Yeah, it's a great tool. I mean, I've done it quite a bit over, my career. Everyone likes to do it when it works, and sometimes we tried it hasn't worked, and execution is really important to making it work. I think changing personnel grouping is good. I think tempo is good. There's a lot of different aspects you can use to try to create some softness in the defense. So, it's a good tool for us for sure. I mean, I hope we can always, we're trying to score every time we take the field. It's whether we go fast or slow, we just got to execute well. We got to throw the ball well. We got to catch it. We got to block. We got to run, and we got to do all the things and take score points.
You could see that point in the conversation where, it's something that he really wants to say, and his brain goes, don't say it, click into cliche, go, fire alarm.
How many press conferences this year has he said, we got to catch it, we got to throw it, we got to – he can rattle them off like nobody.
He's getting right to the point where he's like, yeah, we should go up tempo in the middle of the game or go no huddle in the middle of the game, and multiple times. That's what we really do well. But then he's like, oh, it's a tool. We just got to execute. We got to catch it. We got to throw it. It's just like, like you could just see his brain. It just, boop, 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 alert. Don't throw Byron under the bus. But, and so he doesn't. But you know what? I mean, it's there, folks. And here's one more from Brady on late game victories, how good he's been and how good his team has been. And clearly it's not just Brady, but it's a lot about Brady. Let's be honest.
I think they're all great in different ways, and I think when you lose, you take it to heart. When you win, man, you celebrate it. And, some games, would I rather win by 3 touchdowns? Absolutely. But if we're not going to win by 3 touchdowns, I mean, that's a great way to win a game because, y'all remember that game for the rest of my life and for all the guys on the team that experienced it, all the coaches, there was a great celebration in the locker room. We really enjoyed it. And, you realize, look, you could be down and you could look bad and you just keep fighting your tail off and it's never over and you just got to keep finding a way. And defense made so many great plays, a lot of clutch plays, offensive players made so many great plays, and that's what it takes. And we just got to build on it. We got to get positive momentum. We got to get, a lot of confidence and just keep building on it week after week. We obviously know we can do that. There's a lot of other things that we can do a better job of too. And that's what we go out there every day and try to practice at it and trying to figure out ways to continue to move people around to get us in spots to succeed. So that's what football is ultimately about.
And they're just not doing it well enough, unfortunately. And we'll see what happens against the 49ers. All right, we will take a break here, come back on the other side and get into a little Rays talk and a little bit to talk about in terms of stadium and payroll and what the Rays are doing. We are brought to you by Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's #1 investigation agency, private investigation agency. Go to emerginginv.com. And the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have been injured in an accident, call the Jeeves Law Group. They will represent you very vigorously and make sure that your insurance company knows what they're up against, and that will get you better results. That's Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance company use Kelley Blue Book or NADA to appraise the value of your car? Chances are they didn't, and you got shorted maybe thousands of dollars. Call the Jeeves Law Group for a free case evaluation because your insurance company may still owe you money. 727-894-2929. It's a free call, so why not find out if you have a case? Insurance companies have been running this scam for a while, and most folks don't know if they've been shorted. Trust me. Scott Jeeves is a different kind of attorney, the kind insurance companies hate to go up against. He could recover thousands of dollars, so why not call? 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you.
JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
Well, it's that time of year to renew or shop your health insurance provider, and you can get great health insurance for $20, $30, $50 a month. Just call 888-325-0605 to help navigate the health insurance marketplace. 1 out of 3 people in Florida are uncovered because they think they can't afford it. Not true. I made the call a couple of years ago, and they helped me get Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage, Florida Blue, for just $20 a month. Last year, it went up to $49. Oh, well. It all depends on your income and your family situation. It's a free call, 888-325-0605. They will ask for some income information. So if you have your tax returns available, that will be great, but you don't need it. They'll just answer some simple questions, and the highly trained reps will do the work for you to find out what your subsidy will be. 888-325-0605. And if you have a plan through your employer, you may be able to get it cheaper. It's a free call, so find out, folks. This has been a lifesaver for me and saved me thousands of dollars over the last few years, and you can choose your plan. It's a no-brainer. Find out. Make the free call. 888-325-0605. Get covered like me and thousands of others. 888-325-0605. Oh, Merry Christmas. Santa Claus here for the Gold and Diamond Source. All right, it's JP. The holidays are the best time for engagements, right? And where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? They have the largest selection of engagement rings in the country, a jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. So avoid all the mall madness and the parking and all that BS and stay local, right? With the Gold and Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub are the family jewelers, and they'll treat you like family. And of course, they do so many great things in the community. I was just at their Hands Across the Bay, a charity event. So many people stepped up to give money for these women that have been victims of domestic abuse. It is something to behold when these women come forward and talk about what Julie and Steve have done for them. And the Golden Diamond Source funds Hands Across the Bay, and so many other great companies jump in. That's what it's all about, community, right? So let's keep it local for the holidays. If you want a perfect gift for the holidays, you should check out the unique and beautiful handcrafted jewelry from the Emilique and Julie collections that feature fashion-forward gold, diamond, and gemstone jewelry. And don't forget, for the holidays only, 3 to 5 year interest-free financing. It's a no-brainer for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Very excited to get started with their weight loss program and lean up program with Chris Lugo over there. He's so good on nutrition. We've had him on talking about nutrition. So I'm going to clean up my diet, learn how to eat the right way, get some good supplements and some good natural supplements, and we'll see how much I can lose. So very excited to get started with that. And you can do it too at BAMMC.com. It's a New Year's resolution, right? Everybody want to lose weight. So maybe you wait till after the holidays. That's fine. Go in and get your initial consultation done, so you're ready to go January 1st or whatever you want to start, and make it a new you, because it's important now, folks. You don't want to be overweight, because as we've seen with COVID, that could be a death knell for you. So it's just learn the best way to do it. And Bay Area Modern Medical Center has the new modern way of doing things. So much is out there, but so many of these other places, these clinics just shoot you up with this or that, and it's temporary. You lose some weight, but in the end, it always comes back, right? You don't want to do that yo-yo thing. So do it with a medical direction to it, so exactly, and you're going to change some habits, and you'll see some great results. So go to BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center.com, and do what I'm doing and get that weight down, and we'll see how it works out. Very excited to get started with that. All right, want to talk some Rays baseball, because more than anything, you're seeing teams that the Rays obviously have to compete again, just throwing out hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And here the Rays sit on their wallet, not doing much. Now they did, and I had a little back and forth with a fan the other day, and they're like, wait, you say they don't spend any money. They just spent $180 million on Wander Franco. They just spent $40 million on Zach Eflin. They just, they gave $45 million to Tyler Glasnow. No, they didn't. First of all, they didn't give $45 million to Tyler Glasnow. They gave him $30 million. And this year he's going to make $5 million, which is a steal for a guy that could win the Cy Young. Most of those guys are getting $35 and $40 million a year. Will he win it? Who knows? If he stays healthy, absolutely has a great chance. But more than that, he is a number one legitimate starter, and you got to have those guys to win in the playoffs. They're shutdown guys. And there's Zach Eflin may be here because then that allows them to still be competitive if they trade Tyler Glasnow. And I'm not saying he's a sacred cow not to trade him, but you certainly shouldn't trade him this year. At $5 million, he's the biggest steal in baseball. And next year he makes $25 million, and I will be shocked if the Rays pay that. They've never paid anybody over, I think, $15 million that they paid Charlie Morton. And then, of course, didn't pay him in the option year $15 million when clearly he was worth it, and he wins a World Series with the Braves. And he dismantled a World Series team by selling off Blake Snell or trading him, which in a trade that turned out to be awful, and not renewing the contract or picking up the $15 million option on Charlie Morton. That's going cheap, and that's going cheap. I want to read something from a fan that was just going back and forth with on Twitter. And this is the most obvious thing. And I want to just, reemphasize. This is from the calm, what is this guy's calm voice during crazy times. He's a very, very, very smart guy. He said, we're missing the point here. No team in almost 40 years has won a World Series with a payroll below the median. Below the median. We're not talking, and that's about 135, 140 million. That's below that. We're in the bottom five continuously. Stu knows this. He is not really trying to win. You cannot say you are trying to win and have the 25th ranked payroll in the same sentence in capital letters. Can you see how these are not compatible? Yes. And it's absolutely 100% true. You can get to the World Series, and they've done a great job. Look, nobody's done a better job on a tight budget than the Rays. But we seem to think that there's a prize for that. Most wins per dollar. There is no prize for that except for Stu Sternberg. He gets a prize for that. He gets hundreds of millions of dollars in his bank account. And again, folks, there's $500 million according to sworn testimony. In other words, if you lie in these sworn depositions, you can be charged with perjury. All right, his partners have sworn testimony. They've seen the numbers where he moved $500 million into another company, another holding company, that most of that money coming from the advance of the TV deal from Fox Sports from a few years ago. a reported $375 million. So that's $500 million in, quote, raise profits or raise money that he always said was going to go back into the team on the field, not stadiums, not any of that stuff. And by the way, Major League Baseball refunds these teams when they invest in stadiums. So he's going to get a portion of that money back that he invests in a stadium. So if you're saying, oh, that $500 million is for the new stadium, no, it's not. No, it's not. This is money that should be going to payroll and has not been going to payroll over the years. And yes, they just signed a 3-year deal with Zach Eflin. The first 2 years are $11 million each. For a starting pitcher, a free agent in this league, that is not a whole lot of money. So this, all you people, they're on a spending spree. They're in it on this guy or they're in it on that guy. They were trying to get Aaron Judge. No, they weren't. They were never going to get him anyway. Oh, with Jake DeGrom. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. We sign Zach Eflins. We don't sign Jake DeGroms. That's not what we do. The Padres spend money like that in the 27th largest market. There's money here. They won't spend it because he wants to make money. And the fact that the fans are not more outraged about it and they keep making excuses for it, and writers keep saying, well, it's normally a $70 million payroll. They're financial constraints. The only constraints that are put on the Rays and spending money are self-imposed. And we say this all the time, but I still see people on Twitter and people in the media that continue to recite this completely false narrative. Attendance does not equal revenues in baseball. And that's why other teams, and yes, a lot of these are big market teams that are spending ridiculous amounts of money. And nobody's asking us to go out and spend $168 million on Brandon Nimmo. Nobody's asking for that. We're asking to get the payroll to run the franchise like it should be run. First of all, you know that this stadium situation has been hampering you from winning for quite some time. But yet there is zero urgency for you to build a new stadium that which also or should already be done in Ybor. Should have moved into it this year, gone with the original 2018 deal and done it. Would have been a hell of a lot cheaper. You'd have a hell of a lot more for your money, and we'd be in it. And you'd be able to get free agents. Free agents won't play in Tropicana Field. They're not going to do it. And this foray into St. Petersburg is still putting money and designs and effort into this St. Petersburg thing is simply so he can get the people of St. Petersburg to give him $1 billion and pay for his stadium. And you know what that stadium's going to do? It's going to be nice for a few years, but is it best for the majority of the market? No, it's not. It's not where Major League Baseball wants it. And the story that Rob Manfred heartily endorsed the St. Pete plan is complete hogwash. If you go look at his quotes, he said it needs to be properly located. And it's not properly located now. That's what that means. So building it in the same place, is that properly located? No. And what he said in his quotes the other day was basically, we need to find all the options that are available in Tampa, St. Pete area. He didn't say, I wholeheartedly endorse this particular plan in St. Petersburg. He said they have to look at everything, and this is part of it. Because so as far as Stu's concerned, what he would love to do is get somebody to build him $1 billion stadium that he doesn't have to spend any money on whatsoever, that he's going to make more development rights money on. So all the money goes into his pocket. Then he sells the team and he's out. And you're stuck with a white elephant in a bad location. And you're stuck with a Marlins stadium, a beautiful stadium that's in a horrible location. You want to make that same mistake that Miami did? Really? Because he doesn't care. He as long as he's making money, he doesn't care where the stadium is. He's going to be out in a couple of years anyway. And leave you with a poorly. And at this point, I really feel like he's pissed off at Major League Baseball, and he's pissed off at the people in Tampa, the Ken Hagans of the world, and the people over there that wanted to make it work, and all the businessmen that he ran through the ringer with the Rays 100 and acted like he was actually going to bargain in good faith, and he didn't. I mean, this is, and now I feel like he's just, all right, hey, let's put this out there. If they want to pay, we'll just say, we're not going to put any money into it. You got to pay for it all. And the mayor is going to, okay, let's, we've got all this tourist tax money. Let's put it in there. Let's just give it to a billionaire and buy him a stadium so he can make more money when he sells the team. And what are you going to end up with? A nice, beautiful stadium, but poorly located that most of the market can't get to Monday through Thursday. What sense does that make? What sense does that really make? I'm not stumping for Tampa because I live in Hillsborough County. If they build this new stadium, I'll go because it's not the Trop. I love baseball. It's fun. But for the majority of the market and where the population is going in the next 30 years, it's a waste. It's a waste of money to build a stadium there. And Major League Baseball knows it. Stu Sternberg knows it. All you fans know it. All of you fans know it. And because a stadium in Tampa, downtown on the water, where Daryl Shaw just bought more property, would be so much more successful, so much better for the entirety of the market by the numbers, so much better because of the huge development to the east. It's a no-brainer. But yet Stu doesn't want what's best for St. Petersburg. He doesn't want what's best for Tampa. He's proven that by delaying these projects for 5 years. He's proven that there's no, if he really cared about this community, this would have been done a long time ago. All he cares about is his bottom line and how much money he can make. And St. Petersburg, the city, is going to get swindled into doing what they did in Miami if they go forward with this plan. And you're going to have a poorly located stadium, not properly located according to the commissioner and everybody else who has a map and a brain. And that's what you're going to end up with. And that's going to keep you from being more, the new owners will not be as competitive because they won't have as much revenue as they would have on the Tampa side, because attendance would be way more over there. More people would buy luxury boxes. Here's the thing, folks. The people in Tampa, the businesses in Tampa aren't going to buy luxury boxes because they know within 2 years, they're not going to be able to give away the tickets because people will not drive over there. There's no mass transit coming into downtown St. Petersburg. There is coming into downtown Tampa. None of that makes sense, folks. None of it. And politically, if the mayor wants to go forward with this and pay it, and you think the Rays are stepping up with a considerable amount of money to build this, you're out of your mind. The only way I see this happening in the right way is for Major League Baseball to force Stu to sell now before this major decision is made. And we get grown-ups who are more in tune to what's best for everyone in the area and Major League Baseball and everyone else. It is not out for their own self-interest like clearly Stu is. So it's going to affect you from a baseball standpoint, how much money you can spend, how this franchise is going to move forward. And it will be a disaster if Major League Baseball allows this to happen in St. Petersburg.
Well, on the field,
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody's fed up about not spending so far during this wave. And, I'm not trying to defend the franchise for not spending money, and you mentioned one of them, Brandon Nemo, who's 29 going on 30, getting 168 million or whatever it is, which only Steve Cohen was going to give him because Steve Cohen's like the richest owner in baseball, I believe, and doesn't care about going over the luxury tax or any of that. I'm looking at all the deals and I had them all here and I'm just going through them and I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I was the Rays, which deal of all these ones that have signed would I actually kudos to the Rays for getting this deal done.
Josh Bell.
The Josh Bell one sticks out to me. Jose Abreu, I would have been comfortable giving 3 years, $58 million because I just know what he's going to provide. But outside of that, to me, I see a lot of overpay during free agency. I see a lot of overpay. So if I'm being honest, I know everybody wants the Rays to be in on these guys, and I'm not saying I don't, but the money that's being spent here, I don't think is smart. And you just look at the teams who are doing it. It's the Padres, who all of a sudden have turned into a big player. It's the Cubs doing it. It's the Mets doing it. It's the Cardinals doing it. I mean, these are the suspects you would expect to be in on these guys. Not the Rays, even for what we want them to do. I wouldn't expect them to be giving out these big contracts, nor do I think it's smart, by the way.
No, I don't either.
I don't think it's smart by any means spent. So while ultimately the Rays are probably going to be digging around the Dollar Tree bin in free agency, I think we would just like to get them to get the second wave guys instead of the third wave guys. Because I think that's like what's likely going to happen, especially with all the big money that's being spent right now. Because everybody's price is getting drove up right now.
Well, the problem with that is what is Neander saying? And Pete Bendix, what are they saying? They're saying that we're okay. We get our injured guys back, and we got guys at AAA to add to the offense.
But I think part of that is
that could be smoke.
And I think part of that is they're over there in San Diego. They're in the winter meetings. They're trying to participate, and they probably have maybe called some of these guys or tried to have conversations. But these prices are just way too damn. They know it. Yeah. They know it. And listen, it's not them. It's not their fault. They can only work with what they have. That's just a matter of the fact. And they've got to figure out ways. I mean, they deserve Jeremy Lowe, bring Longo home. Yes, I agree, Jeremy.
No.
I had to get that in. No, I mean, I know they'd probably love to spend money, but they're having to work, 2 times, 3 times harder than a lot of other GMs to make this work. And my worry is at some point, are they going to burn out? Is this franchise at some point going to burn out with this system that they're working? Because I was telling you, it's like it used to be the Yankees had money, the Red Sox had money, and the Dodgers had money, but they didn't spend it as much as they do now. Now I feel like there's like 10 to 12 teams who all have the same amount of money and can spend it just at will and drive up the prices of free agents. It's not like it was before when there was just 3 teams doing it. So literally those teams are going to end up being the ones who win all the time.
Well, look at the Braves. I think the Braves are a great template. They're the closest franchise other than Miami to us. And I think their situation was so similar to ours. Their stadium was poorly located. Lots of fans in Atlanta, but their stadium was poorly located on the south side of Atlanta. And most of their fans, I remember seeing a graphic in the Atlanta paper, and it showed where all the season ticket holders were for the Atlanta Braves. And it was all in the northern counties. For the majority of the people that were paying for tickets, season ticket holders and regular season ticket holders, was very similar to Tampa Bay. Most of the people that go to Rays games are from Hillsborough County. The people in St. Petersburg and Pinellas County don't go to the games. So not only do you have a low population, but you have a population that's not interested in paying for high-priced tickets or can't afford to pay high-priced tickets. So, I mean, it's a double whammy when it comes to your location. So what did the Braves do? They moved their stadium to where their fans are on the north side of town in Cobb County, and they built an entertainment district around it. And it has been wildly successful. And it has allowed them to bump up their payroll into the 160, 170 range, where I believe that's where it is. So to win a World Series and to do exactly what we didn't pay Charlie Morton $15 million to pitch for them. And then they went out and got Albies and got some of these other guys. Given them finance, and they have said this. The group that owns the Braves has said yes, it's been the stadium and the revenue that we've derived from it that has allowed us to do that. So this is, that's why I talk about the stadium situation so much, because it directly impacts how much you can spend. And if you're going to be competitive in Major League Baseball, like you said, you got to get in with these guys. And we don't have to spend the stupid money, but we got to spend some money. We got to get the Josh Bells of the world. We've got to get some of these mid-level free agents that can give us a mid-level offense to go with our great pitching.
That's what I'm saying. I think right now the Rays are playing for that third wave of free agents, where you're going to be signing guys to, anywhere from 1 million to like 8 million. You need to get into that range of 10 to 20. That's all I'm asking.
Right.
Can we pay guys 10 to 20 million and get 2 or 3 of them in the building?
Yeah, that gets your payroll to a little above $100 million.
That's all I'm asking for.
So we're at
think
about
that's
60
reasonable
right now. So think about that. It's 60 and the median's at 140.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're that far below the median.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to give Aaron Judge 9 years and $380 million. I'm not asking you to give Trey Turner 11 years and Bogarts 11 years and the Anthony Rendon's. I'm not asking you to pay 30-year-old guys $300 million. I'm not. I let other teams deal with those problems and they'll work that out. Just get the solid players who are in that second wave.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. Try anything. I mean, I know you don't believe it from last year, but I mean, they did offer Freddie Freeman the deal. I mean, I know you don't ever believe those kind of things, but I mean, there were very credible reporters who did say it, but ultimately,
listen, I'm sure
ultimately he was never coming here because, like you say, the stadium impacts who you can bring in and the atmosphere and guys wanting to play here.
The Rays are smart enough to know that if they offer some of these players that kind of money, that they're going to get outbid, number one, And number two, they're not coming here because of the trop, and it makes them look good in the national press, and it makes them look like they're trying to win. But if you're really smart and you look at the history of what they've done, you know that, and until they do sign a free agent like that, I'm going to tell you it's complete false. It's complete false bravado, and it's a fake narrative. So, yeah. So until they do, and until they get this right, it's going to suck. All right, we got some great comments coming in. Mario Christian says players don't want to come here because of the turf. That's exactly right. We've heard players on this show say that. We've heard Jason Romano's an agent say that. It is what it is. The Cubs don't make a big deal or two. The fans will call for ownership's head. Yeah, not here. We're all brainwashed. We love Stu. Stu's bid will never, ever get approved over Mayor Ken's Sugar Hill Group in a billion years. I agree with that. That's probably the case. But if the mayor goes forward and pays for this $1 billion stadium, and the Rays don't chip in a significant amount, and again, it's not. I don't think the people of St. Petersburg, the constituents of St. Petersburg, would spend that money. And I don't know if it has to go to a vote. I know it doesn't in Hillsborough County, but if they put it to a vote in Pinellas County, it would fail dramatically. Based off the moves made this week in the winter meetings, this is from Mario, the Mets, Yankees, Cardinals, and Padres look like winners based off of those signings. Yeah, it doesn't always work that way though, Mario. You know, sometimes we've seen a lot of teams with big payrolls fail. So you got to be able to put the team together as well. But it sure would be nice to have that option. I've worked in the indie leagues for 7 years, said Lottie Wilkins. The Rays give the same excuses these clubs use. At least on the indies, they have ticket deals and shoot balloons out of someone's ass. At least it's entertaining. Yes, I believe that. Okay, this is another one. Caller was crazy enough to call into a local show that I heard saying that the Rays and Bucs should share a multi-purpose stadium in Tampa to resolve both their stadium issues. Yeah, this is an interesting concept, to be quite honest. But multi-use stadiums have failed in the past. They have failed dramatically. So it's never been a really good idea. From an economic feasibility issue, especially baseball and football, I don't know. I just don't think it works. I mean, if you had some engineering that is really forward thinking and could do it, and I guess with technology today, it's probably a much better chance to do it than, say, the Metrodome, which was just awful for baseball. And then you go back to the riverfront stadiums and the Three River stadiums and Fulton County Stadium, which were all the same design. Those were disasters. The Dolphin Stadium for baseball, disaster.
Ew. There was a pro player or whatever that thing was with that big like wall and left or whatever.
Gross.
No.
I went to a game there one time, man. It was just like, what is this? It's just like you tried to fit a baseball stadium into football.
And didn't Minnesota and
the Metrodome.
Yeah, the Metrodome, and I think like those scenes of Kirby Puckett, and like I always wondered as a kid, I'm like, why is there glass in left field? They left the hockey glass up. Yeah. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No,
bad.
That's awful. Wait, why did the Bucs need it? What I missed the context here. Why did the
Brayden
Bucs?
James is 30 years old in 2026.
But it looks so much.
It's fantastic.
It's aged beautifully.
Yeah, it's a great stadium. You don't need a new football stadium.
No,
you just don't.
No.
You need to stop having 1 o'clock.
Nashville has.
You need to stop having day games in September and October.
Yes.
You want to do something radically different.
Yeah.
Start playing every game in Florida in September and October needs to be a night game.
Like I think Nashville has like the same like architecture of the Bucs one, but they're getting a new one because they just didn't take care of theirs.
Right.
And it's like broke down. The Bucs have pumped in so much money into this stadium now. Yeah. I think it's world class.
It is. It's still. I mean, it's Super Bowl stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's world class stadium. It's not. I think the sight lines are tremendous. The clubs are tremendous. Everything is beautiful in that stadium. And it needs a roof. I mean, But you can. I think instead of that, just why can't we have more night games?
Why can't we just have nice things?
Why can't we just? But why can't the NFL? I know they try to protect these windows, these TV windows, but especially when Brady leaves, is it going to make that much of a difference if the Bucs are playing on Sunday nights every week during September and October?
Nobody wants to watch that every week.
Well, no, they don't have to be the only game. Why is it only one game on Sunday night?
I like the 1 o'clock games myself. I miss our 1 o'clock times.
you sit out there in September and October in that sun at 1 o'clock?
I didn't say I like watching them at 1 o'clock on
well,
TV. I'm not talking about going to the game.
Games. Talking about going to the games.
Oh, well, primetime rules.
You just can't have it anymore. It's just ridiculous. It's too hot. It's too hot. The sun, it's too hot. It's ridiculous. We need night games. Some other comments here. I think this is pretty much to the point from Chris Cole. Leftwich is clueless. This is from James. I just don't understand how the front office or BA or whoever can't tell the OC what's wrong with the offense. What the F is going on? Well, you listen to the press conferences, dude. Like, what do you think? What do you think? You think there's some great brain trust involved here that is cooking up these game plans? No. Any other comments here that we want to get to? Oh, this is interesting. Thomas Casper said the Mayor Castor couldn't care less is what he means because the transportation tax failed. I don't know how that plays into I haven't done the research to know how that plays into the Bright Line's still coming into Tampa though, right? That's a federal state thing. That's not local tax. So I'm pretty sure that the Bright Line's still coming into downtown Tampa and would dump off right by the stadium. So I think that's a big deal. D. Corral says baseball is so boring. Speed up the game, shorten the season, enough with the ridiculous contracts. I like the game of baseball. I do think it could use to be sped up. There's no doubt about that. Thomas was talking about the Rays TV deal, and he said while it's not a one-time payment, he called it a revenue stream that they continue to get over a 10-year period. Yeah, my understanding is you got $375 million upfront for a 10-year deal that was worth close to $1 billion. So there's still another $600 million coming the way of the Rays for their local TV deal, which is where it should be. I mean, it should be around $100 million a year, and that's just their TV deal, folks. So yeah, he's got the money and he's not spending it, and it is. Those are the facts. I think that's most of the good comments said today. All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into some other stories. The Dan Snyder story is very interesting. College football teams losing players in the portal, gaining players in the portal. We'll hit that as well. Baker Mayfield last night. What the hell was that? No freaking logic, League. We'll talk about that. We're brought to you by BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES Lawgroup.com, and the Gold and Diamond Source. Folks, it's December. I know you're shopping, and it's a great time to get engaged, right, in December. Put that ring under the tree, however you want to do it. And of course, the Gold and Diamond Source is the place to go. They've got the best prices, the best selection. My man over here got his ring there. Now he's got to go wedding band shopping. It is the place. And as we always say, keep it local, folks. They're the great local benefactor, great philanthropy over at the Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve. So let's keep it all local in this Christmas season. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back at 3.
JP here for Italiano Insurance. If you've started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, well, you need business insurance, because if you get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right. Your home, your savings, everything could go. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and a real human will answer the phone and get you protected. If you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands. One customer had their golf buddy handling his business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah. So call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source and Italiano Insurance. Another great idea at the end of the year here is to shop your insurance around, your home insurance, your auto insurance. They'll do all the work. You save all the money. 813-877-7799. The folks at Italiano Insurance will have a human answer the phone, and they'll talk with you and figure out what you need to do and shop it around for you, and you save all the money. So do an insurance checkup. Your business insurance could save lots of money, folks. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-877-7799. A couple other questions I want to or comments here. James said, it's because he lost me, I got to say this. You need to be on the radio, JP, because as right as you are about this lunacy stadium idea in St. Pete, no one else in caps is saying this. They are saying what a great idea it is. It's unfortunate that this is happening. Listen, I don't think it's going to go through, but it might, and it's absolute lunacy. It's exactly what they did in Miami. It was a political boondoggle, and look what's happened down there. And it's not because the stadium's not beautiful. That is a gorgeous stadium down there. It's just in a horrible location. And why would you make the same mistake twice? And I really think there needs to be people speaking up and maybe some constituents in St. Pete. And once it's found out how much money they're going to give to Stu Sternberg, then you'll see the crap hit the fan. We're trying to be a little bit, ahead of the game here. Yeah, and this is another one that really gets me. Since when has baseball become a sport only elitists can go to? So you spend a ton of money on a stadium and pass that along to the family of four in outrageous ticket prices. Great, thanks. It's so true. Baseball was meant to be a $5 ticket and a $5 beer. That's why you have 81 home games. It was never meant to be $100 a ticket.
Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, hot dogs.
81, nobody can go to that many games and spend that much money. I mean, it's supposed to be a $10, $15 ticket or $5 ticket on, and most other teams do this, by the way. Most other teams have $5 ticket specials during the week to get people in the door. Almost every team. We did it last year. We showed them all to you, except the Rays. Most of theirs are $70 bad outfield seats. So anyway, moving on. So the House Oversight Committee, I think you just wrote a story on this for Outsiders, so if you want to jump in here. They released a 79-page report. And again, why our House Oversight Committee is spending time doing oversight on an NFL football team instead of oversight on our own FBI and CIA. That would be probably a better idea. So they put this report out there, and it was very detailed in some of the things that were going on. So Dan Snyder hired private investigators to follow Roger Goodell and get dirt on him surreptitiously. Like how off the rails is that? And also hired private investigators to follow other owners. I wouldn't be surprised if the leak of the Little Rock 9 photo of Jerry Jones wasn't discovered by private investigators that Dan Snyder had out there. And his whole goal was to get as much dirt on everybody else so they couldn't force him out. And the John Gruden emails, according to the Oversight Committee, were released by Dan Snyder, who used to employ John Gruden's brother.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Interesting. Yeah. And Bruce Allen did a testimony in this whole thing, and he alleges that the Commanders were behind the leaked emails that directly led to John Gruden's resignation. And he says that he testified a top NFL official told him that, apparently to fault him and not Snyder for their franchise's hostile workplace environment.
Yeah. This Dan Snyder is a bad dude. He's a bad dude, but I got to admit, I kind of like it when you have bad dudes working with bad dudes. And some of these owners are bad dudes, in my opinion. Their old, good old boy way of thinking just is really needs to go in a lot of different places.
Just how does he I don't know.
But,
I mean, how has he survived this long?
Dan Snyder?
Dan Snyder.
Because they're afraid of him. They're afraid of him. They you know that when the NFL did their own investigation on this, right? Exhaustive investigation. They got a third party to go out and do these investigation on Dan Snyder, right? You know what they did with it? They sealed it. Didn't let anybody read it. They just gave summaries and they whitewashed the whole thing. They know all this stuff. Why did they do that? Because he's got dirt on.
Yeah, and as you were telling me,
that's why.
And as you were telling me in the break, and I think a lot of people have mentioned this, the whole photo that got released of Jerry Jones in 1957 at what was it, what was that? What did they call it back then?
I think it was the Arkansas Little Rock 9.
Yeah.
They're trying
he
to
was
keep,
spotted there,
segregate schools from being integrated.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like Snyder leaked that photo, and
yeah, sure.
I mean, I'd lean on that side.
Yeah, and you know, again, and John Gruden has sued the NFL, and most legal experts feel like he's going to win that suit. And now it looks like the NFL is trying to, you know, use the House Oversight Committee to do the things that they weren't willing to do. So this is a crap show, and it's going to get worse. And I think there's a lot of more. You think John Gruden's emails are the only suspect emails? No.
And I'd have to think, and I'm not saying like his weren't bad or anything, because they were, but I have to think there's probably even worse than what he said.
Oh yeah,
out there.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So yeah, I would be very very interested to see how this whole thing is going to turn out, because it's going to be a crap show for a lot of different people, and see how many people get outed and canceled. All right, on the field last night, how about Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield, in one day of practice, comes on and gets a 17-16 comeback win over the Raiders last night.
The Raiders.
Very similar to what we saw Tom Brady do with the two late touchdown drives. And what did McVay say when he got to the podium? Just like we drew it up. The Rams snapped their 6-game losing streak in spectacular fashion, led by Mayfield, who was playing 2 days after he was claimed off waivers and replaced starting quarterback John Wolford, whoever the hell that is. The Rams trailed by 13 points in the fourth quarter. Mayfield led the team on a 98-yard game-winning drive, and he was just smoking. He was hitting guys. He looked fantastic. And then 23-yard touchdown pass to Van Jefferson with 10 seconds remaining. It's the longest drive for a go-ahead touchdown that began in the final 2 minutes in the past 45 seasons. I mean, are you kidding me? First of all, shame on you, Raiders. Shame on you for losing that game.
That's embarrassing. I think they were they could have been one game out of the playoff hunt if they won that yesterday against an awful Rams team with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, and they completely blew it. Completely blew it. And it started with Derek Carr. Did you see his interception that he threw down near the red zone?
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Brain fart. You know,
it started with that. They never recovered after that one. They had so much momentum. You score there, you go up by 3 scores, and you probably win the game. But that was the difference. But Baker Mayfield, man, what in the world? Like I said, I went to bed because this game was a snoozer. And the only thing that was keeping me awake was I was like, there's going to be a day when the season ends where I'm going to miss football.
Yes.
So let me try to watch this as much as I could, but I couldn't do it. And I woke up this morning and I literally was like, what the hell did Baker Mayfield do last night? I couldn't believe it when I went on Twitter and saw all this stuff.
Yeah, I was at the Rays game and doing the post-game show, and I'm looking up there, looking at the highlights. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. This is unbelievable.
With Ben Skowronek and Van Jefferson and Tutu Atwell, like what are that's amazing. I think that has to be one of the more impressive victories by a quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Seriously, given the circumstances. I mean, do you remember when Josh Freeman, when the Bucs cut him? Similar situation. He got cut by the Bucs, and then he got picked up by the Vikings, and they started him on that Monday night game.
Yeah.
It was the worst game I've ever seen a quarterback play. Same situation, coming in, not knowing the offense, and Baker Mayfield ends up winning a game, going on a 98-yard winning drive.
And so does this change the fortunes of him? Does he become now listen, you look at his tenure in Cleveland, it wasn't horrible. They won a playoff game.
No, and I thought last year he was just playing hurt.
Stupid. Yeah, last year he played hurt. I'm not gambling on him, but the Bucs are going to be looking for a free quarterback.
No. No.
You'd rather go with a rookie. You'd rather go with Anthony Richardson.
To me, if you're Baker Mayfield, your quarterback at this point, you're just treading water as a franchise. He's here because he needs to be here for his career's sake, for him to last anymore, to get another shot potentially in the offseason. He needs this opportunity. And the Rams, just for Sean McVay, not to have to, just for the sake of his eyes, not have to watch John Wolford run his offense anymore into the ground. He needs Baker Mayfield. So little 5-week stint here, but just because of what happened last night, I can't say enough good about it, but it doesn't change my opinion that I don't think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL right now at this point.
He's, the one thing I see about Baker, and I'm not a huge Baker Mayfield fan to come here, but I will say this, in Cleveland, he was surrounded by a good team and got him to the playoffs, and he played well that year, 2 years ago. He would be coming here with a similar situation. You've got weapons, you've got, hopefully the offensive line gets better next year. And I hate to even talk about the future right now, but just a quick talk about it. And you're not bringing in a guy that's got to learn from the jump. And I really don't want to go through the rookie deal, and it depends on who the guy is. I mean, obviously you got to go identify the right guy.
I cannot believe you're making a case for Baker Mayfield.
I think depending on do I think Baker Mayfield would be better than Anthony Richardson in year one and probably year two? Yes, 100%, 1,000%. Especially with this coaching staff. Are you kidding me? They're going to develop a quarterback in Anthony Richardson? Yeah, good luck with that. All right, a couple other things I want to get to. College football. Dylan Gibbons, Florida State center, by the way, won the Werfel Trophy last night, which is given to the most philanthropic college football player for the most part. And community service, just incredible. Gibbons raised over $450,000 for various charitable causes related to FSU, the state of Florida, and the overall college football community through his nonprofit organization, Big Man, Big Heart Incorporated. He's also the captain of the All-State AFCA Good Works team because of his various charitable efforts. I mean, this dude has done incredible works. Instead of, gobbling up the money for his own NIL, he spent and used his platform to raise money for others and did a hell of a job. So hats off to Dylan Gibbons, who I think is a local guy, if I'm not mistaken. If y'all want to hit me up on our chat board and tell me where he played high school football. I think maybe somewhere in Pinellas, maybe. FSU running back Trey Benson is
St. Pete. Yeah.
St. Pete. Yeah. St. Pete High. I want to give them their just
let's do it right. Let me get the school.
My apologies.
Clearwater Central Catholic.
Yeah, that's what I thought. CCC. So shout out to CCC, and that's a great program over there. Always has been, and producing a great young man like this. Not only a really good football player, but a big man, big heart, and he wins the Werfel Trophy. So congratulations, big deal there. And Trey Benson is coming back for a 2023 season to join Jordan Travis, and there may be even more guys coming back. There's, Florida State is making some big moves in the portal. So he's coming back. 6.8 yards per carry, 6'1", 215, 4 100-yard games. And that's in, in an offense where 3 guys are sharing the ball. 6.8 yards per carry. Could easily have gone to the NFL, but he's coming back. And we'll see they'll have him play against Oklahoma in the Cheez-It Bowl coming up on December 29th, which I'm thinking very seriously about going to. So Jordan's coming back. They're talking about Lovett coming back. Jared Verse hasn't made his decision yet, but there's one good thing about NIL is these guys now can at least make some decent money in college football and don't have to go to the NFL because they're completely broke. So that's good news. And at the University of Florida, not as good news. Anthony Richardson is coming out, declared for the draft. He's listed as the 4th best quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he has moments where he looks like a number 1 pick.
Absolutely, he does.
And I thought he played well down the stretch, actually. But to come out after playing, 13 games, starting 13 games, he's not ready. He's not even close to ready, in my opinion. And whoever team drafts him, and listen, I know you just said that you'd rather have Baker Mayfield than Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony's like a sneaky candidate to get drafted. I wouldn't mind that, but you have to have him sit for a year at least. At least.
He just hasn't played enough football, man. He just hasn't played enough football. He should have. I want to say he should have gone back to college, but the bottom line is if you're going to get drafted in the first round, you got to go.
Is he going to get drafted in the first round?
Yeah, he will.
There'll probably be a team that takes a chance on him.
Wait till you see his workouts. And there's been games where he looks, like you said, tremendous.
But listen, I think this year in the NFL is teaching us that we can't always go by measurables. We can't always go by physical tools. I mean, look at how Tua's popped this year, which I find it ironic, by the way. Tua has one bad game against the best defense in the league. And I've been hearing all over the Tua doesn't have it in him.
Stop.
Like, are you joking? Come on. Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick, who a lot of people said he couldn't throw. He's the MVP right now in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, all these guys, Kirk Cousins is having a career year all of a sudden. I mean, all these guys who are just marginally talented, I guess, per se, don't have these physical tools that pop out, are the guys who are winning football games right now.
Right.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I know y'all all hate Jimmy Garoppolo, but he was winning football games. Right?
Yep.
I mean, the two animal, Joe Burrow. I mean, does he pop out physically to anybody?
No,
but he's probably going to win more games than any quarterback in this generation. The only 2 unicorns that stand out are Mahomes and Allen. And I don't even throw.
When Burrow was coming out, I thought it was ridiculous that people did not see him as a can't miss. I mean, because you watched him play, especially that senior year. And I said it then, and I think it's 100% accurate. He is the best thrower of the football that I've seen. Just classic thrower of the football. Obviously, Mahomes is fantastic, but Burrow, to me, his placement, his accuracy, his velocity, his anticipation reminds me a lot of Brady. I mean, I think, Brady reads the field, uses the whole field. He obviously Burrow's a better athlete than him. He can run a little bit. He can run enough.
Yeah.
He can get off platform. He can make the throws. And Cincinnati's going to be a handful. But here's the other thing. Look at those guys and who they're surrounded with. Almost universally, except for Burrow, and it just goes to how great of a thrower he is. Really good offensive lines. Really good offensive lines, good weapons. They're and good coaching staffs. They're a lot of these teams and the quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks, they go to these terrible teams, terrible coaching staffs, surrounded by nobody. I don't like, even if you're freaking Dan Marino, it's hard to play with bad teams and bad receivers. You can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
And you look at Jalen Hurts, he's surrounded by a great football team. Jimmy Garoppolo, surrounded by a great football team. Brock Purdy, surrounded by a great football team. You can have success as a quarterback. You don't have to be Tom Brady. If you got a great team around you, you just need to distribute the football and not be stupid. So quarterbacking is a lot about where you go and how you're developed. And
yeah,
Anthony Richardson comes to this coaching staff.
Oh, well, I'm banking on this coaching staff not being here next year. If we're drafting a quarterback and everything, and I have to assume this coaching staff's not here.
All right, give me a World Cup update before we get out of here. Our team Brazil, which I think we've settled on. Team Brazil is just freaking unbelievable.
Brazil is just fantastic. They're playing actually as we speak against Croatia. It should be late. Yeah, it's 0-0 in extra time. So this one looks like
extra time. Wow.
Yeah. So Croatia. we got a 30-minute. Croatia's tough, man. They were the runner-up in the World Cup in 2018. I mean, they got some really good players there.
Forget about that.
Yeah, we forget about that. So this one's
Croatia can be this good, but the United States with 350 million people.
It's not as simple as that. It is not as simple as that. We could I could do a whole show on why the United States is struggling in soccer. But But yeah, Brazil and Croatia, looks like we got a 30-minute extra period and potentially penalties after. Good one today at 2:00, Argentina and the Netherlands.
Oh, Messi.
This is going to be fantastic.
Messi and the Netherlands. Oh, all right. I might watch a little bit of that for sure.
Yep.
On this Friday
And then also the team that I'm rooting for. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, England-France at 2. That's going to be the game of the tournament right now. England-France. But Morocco and Portugal tomorrow at 10. I'm aboard the Morocco train. Morocco is the Cinderella right now that's going through.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't seen them play.
You got to watch them play. They've only given up 1 goal in the World Cup, and they've played some really good teams. Like they were in the same group as Germany and knocked them out.
Wow.
And then they just took down Spain. I mean, they're giant killers right now.
And when do they play tomorrow?
They play tomorrow at 10 a.m. Against Portugal, who also just coming off a 6-1 victory. So not going to be easy, but
Ronaldo going to play?
Hell no. Hell no, he ain't playing.
He'll at least get in and substitute, right?
Yeah, he'll come in on like the 85th minute, run around for a little bit.
And when it's 6-1. All right.
But yeah, go Morocco.
All right. What a fun day today has been. A lot of good stuff. If you missed anything, go back on our app. Download the app, the FanStream Sports. It's real easy. Just download it, then to put you on the phone, just pop that sucker, tap that app, and the show will pop up, and you can listen anytime, anywhere, fast forward, reverse, do whatever what you want. It's all on demand for you there. And of course, we're always on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube page so you can watch it anytime. Also on Twitter and on Facebook, you can watch it anytime. Tell your friends, please retweet the show. We love when you do that. And thanks so much for watching and listening. We will be back on Monday with a full 2 hours show breaking down the Bucs-49ers. We're going to have some great guests next week. We're going to load up. So be with us next week as we head towards the holidays. Have a great day, everybody, and a great weekend. Go Bolts. Go Bucs.